Welcome to episode 2, the vlog. 100% honesty here. This is not one that I really want to do. It was a rough week on the farm. On Tuesday morning, went out and did chores and put hay out for the cows out in the lot, and found that my favorite cow, Fantasy, was dead. Don't know what happened. She had foot rot. We treated her for that. Obviously foot rot didn't kill her, but that's how she was, and I really just didn't see a whole lot of benefit in posting her and seeing her splayed wide open just to find out what happened. So we dug a hole and buried her, and she'll stay here forever now. We've still got her heifer calf. Her heifer calf, Fantasy, as well, is doing great. Baby Fantasy took right after a bottle that evening, and Crystal has been reading stories in her pen live on Facebook on the Heartland Acres Facebook page and on her Crystal Cattle Facebook page as well. It's been going very well. Little Fantasy is a heck of a calf. She's really nice attitude about her. She is horned. Her mom was polled, her dad is polled, but they were both obviously heterozygous, which means that they carry both genes, and so she hit the 25% jackpot and has horns. But that's fine. I really want to just let them grow out on her and shape them, and Crystal says that we'll go ahead and get them surgically removed, but I think it'd be cool to have one on the place with horns. So that was real shitter start of the week. It's gloomy enough with everything else that's going on in the world, and feeling like a shut-in, even though we're not really shut-ins. We can still go and do what we need to do, but we're trying to keep ourselves at a very minimal risk level and staying home as much as we can and doing our part in that aspect. This week on Crystal's podcast, she has zoomed up to the number 32 spot for entrepreneurial podcasts on Apple. Pretty wild. She works really hard at it. She's done a good job of getting good people to interview, and she does a phenomenal job of editing and building those podcasts and making them concise and entertaining. I learned something from each episode. She's done great with the email marketing that goes along with that, and it's been really inspiring to watch her grow it from literally nothing into something, and I think she's just reaching the ground floor of what it is going to be. In this past week's podcast, she talked about the things that she has learned as she just celebrated her birthday, which I went over, and one of the things that she touched on, which was really hard, was our battle with infertility. And it's something that we don't talk a whole lot about. There's a small group of people that know that this has gone on, and it's been a long time, and we're now finally getting to a spot where we're more comfortable in talking about it, and we're more okay with the lack of results that we have gotten. The great thing that has come out of it was the incredible amount of time that Crystal and I got to spend together driving back and forth to Iowa City, sitting through the appointments, and being each other's rock throughout the process. It's something that you can't possibly fully understand until you've been through it, much like parenting. I don't know what my friends have gone through raising their kids, but this is much like that. They don't understand what we have gone through, and it's something that has not yielded the results that we want, but I am so very glad for the journey that it has taken us on. That also reminds me, our friend Caitlin Bennett wrote an article. They don't have kids, and I don't know at all their situation, but the article was about wanting to be sure that her friends knew that she wanted to be a part of their children's lives. And that's something that I have recently started to bring up with my friends more is, hey, invite us over when you're doing birthday party or whatever. We really like kids. The fact that we don't have any is not an indication of our like or dislike of them. We love kids. They're great. We want to be a part of their lives. We want to be Uncle John and Aunt Crystal. If that is where God is taking us, we want to be able to teach them the stuff that we know and be a resource for them as they grow and learn. And we want to be able to play a bigger part in their lives. And I think that's something that we're going to really try to do more of going forward. So yeah, I mean, just all in all, kind of a tough week. Emotionally, from those two standpoints of putting that stuff out there in the world and losing fantasy at the same time, just really tough. And we're definitely growing and getting better, and that's the thing that fantasy really makes me think of. There's a few types of good cows in the world, and the ones that I think of are the ones that move a program forward or move you forward. If you've raised cattle, you understand the relationship that you build with them, and that is what moves you forward. They make you a better person. And then there's the ones that bring your program to another level with the quality that they bring to the table, and fantasy was a dual purpose in that respect. She undoubtedly made me a better human being. I had never raised a bottle calf before fantasy. She probably didn't need to be a bottle calf, but I was a young producer and got antsy and impatient with her mother and decided that she was going to be my first bottle calf, and there we were. Every day she was a bright and shining reason to come to the farm. I had to take care of her more than I had to tend to any other animal on the farm. And her personality shined through and made me better every day. And then when she got into production and her calves started to kick ass, that's when I really knew that she was super special, and one that we just won't forget. The bad part is we don't have any pictures of this cow hardly. Like, frickin' none. How that happened, I have no idea. And maybe that's the that's the final thing that fantasy is going to teach us, is that if you really like a cow, take some damn pictures of her. Like, come on. Well, we'll move on now. Izzy and Mr. Gray update. Mr. Gray is not really my sister on FaceTime. She's gonna love to see that she was FaceTiming while I was doing that. Alright, went ahead and took that FaceTime from little sister. Izzy and Mr. Gray update. Mr. Gray has been a fan of everything that has come into the barn. He cuddles right up to all of them. He eats from the feed pan with the calves when they're tied up before state fair and whatnot. But he does not like baby fantasy. He just is kind of standoffish with her and not really a big fan. It's kind of odd. Izzy has yet to meet baby fantasy. Probably tomorrow. I'll bring her down. I'm going to move fantasy into a different pen and then be sure to get a little video for you guys of their first meeting. Izzy's mom, on the other hand, did have a big week. Vega did some bull riding down at QB Cattle in Texas. Give them a follow if you like. Morgan has got her well trained. She's a bull riding son of a gun. That's why we bought Izzy. Personality on a dog like that has to transfer through a little bit. This week's song from the playlist is going to be from the Show Barn Born in '84 playlist once again. I was going to bounce around to a different one, but with the loss of fantasy, we are going to go with Dark Fantasy by Kanye West. Fantasy was named after the album that this song is from. That just shows you how special that cow was. Most of them get named after one song. She got named after a whole damn album. R.I.P. Fantasy. We're sure gonna miss you. Guys, if you'd like to follow along on social media, at JJB Cattle Co. on damn near all of them. I'm getting TikTok famous. It's happening. I had somebody comment on one of them, City Slicker Alert. That was pretty cool. Nobody's ever really thrown too much shade my way on Instagram or any of the other ones. TikTok, whole different world. Follow along. It's a good time. Let's go. Be safe out there. Be clean. Be kind. Love each other. I love you. See you next time.